When
Yeah.
I actually got a million cash, when I finally had it in the bank, it's very unsatisfying
Hmm.
because no one gives a fuck about it. Like even my dad, I went to my dad, I was like, hey, our company made a million. He was like, all right, shut up, bitch.
Yeah.
And you don't get a sticker.
Yeah.
And there's no ceremony. There should be a ceremony. If anyone makes a million, I will fucking ceremony with you. We'll go to Vegas. We'll do drugs. Like, I'll party my ass off with y'all.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do some fun ass stuff. Maybe we can even do a responsible time. We don't have to have drugs, and we can have fun without that.
Yeah.
I think my first million came probably year 5 of AppSumo, year 4 of AppSumo. And that's not because
Wow.
I could have paid myself a million earlier from that.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, my goal is I wanted the company to be bigger each year. I'd
Hmm.
rather take more money next year than now. So it's like, all right, would you rather take that money for yourself or put in the business so next year's even bigger? And so
Yeah.
I would say I started all this internet stuff really in 2004, and I made my first mill 2016.
Hmm.
So it's about 10 years, give or take.
And and in terms of that, did like once that happened, what changed for you mentally? Was it that process that showed you, okay, cool, we can get to 10 mil? Like,
No, it's actually, dude, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a real talk. Now I have a few mil cash. Like, it's different to have, people are like, well, my real estate holdings are this. I'm like, well, how much is your mortgages? And then how much is that? And then how much
yeah,
is actually you have?
liquid,
So
yeah.
now I have a few million liquid.
Hmm.
That's made me feel secure, which is so fucking insane.
Yeah.
Because I talk to people, I have a friend who's got a few hundred, like, not that much in the bank. He's got like maybe a few thousand.
Yeah.
And that makes me nervous. And
Yeah.
only now that I have a few million, I'm secured. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's fucking insane. And it's not to boo hoo or anything for me. But I think, is your question more like, how did I get to that level? Or how do you get to those next levels? Or what
My
specifically?
question is, so for people listening or people watching this and going, oh shit, like you hit that sort of threshold that a lot of people have, that's the elusive number, a mil.
Mhm.
And obviously you've gone past that, but like, what were some of the things you learned about, like, oh, once you get there, like it never ends, you just stretch your goals? Is it like, what
Yeah.
should people be thinking mentally to not be so intimidated by it? Is it more focused about the process, and the money will be a byproduct of it? Obviously you got to make sure that the numbers work, but like, what advice do you have for people who are trying to get there? Because it seems to me like you weren't even so focused on that
I
initially.
wasn't.
You're focused
You know
on
what's
doing something,
crazy?
you
So,
scale something interesting and then worried about the money. And most people don't do that. Most people are trying to make the money now, scale that, and worry about the fulfillment, happy, interesting shit later.
and I hate rich people that just talk about find your passion. I'm like, well, bitch, it's easy for you to find passion because you're rich.
Right? You
Like,
got
come down to
that.
my fucking level. Yeah. So I will say I looked at my personal and the company tax records, and I just put out my salary so people can see my salary over the years. So AppSumo, just to give you a sense of scale, in 2010, when I launched it, it made like revenue, not profit. It was like 100,000 or 200,000. In 2011, our revenue was 3 million.
Wow. In 1 year. Yeah.
That was I didn't. But I think what's interesting, and maybe our minds are deceitful beasts. I didn't even know that it was that big of a jump. I didn't even know what our revenue was like that. And obviously, I am very revenue focused, and I care about the profit and things like that. I think at the time the way that it was actually helpful for us is we looked at leading indicators that drove revenue, but it wasn't looking at revenue. So what do I mean by that? At that time, all I looked at was pretty much two things: how many people are getting on our email list, and how many deals a week are we putting out.
Mhm.
And with business, a lot of people are looking at the what's the best way to put it? They're looking at the speed, but not at the dials.
Mm.
So they're looking at, I'm going 60 miles an hour. I got 600,000 revenue. But if you focused on what is the dials that drive that, the dials that drive that is for us was email list and number of deals. And so that is all we focused on. And it was saying, what is our limiting factors there? It was sales team. So we built out a sales team, and emails. We built out a marketing team.
Mhm.
And so, and then Eamon, I would say, has done really well, even going further and doubling down on that.
Mhm.
Um, that's a whole story in of itself. But yeah, the million, I would say million's a great goal. I'm in college. Me and my buddy Sarthak, he went on to be pretty big at Microsoft, and now he's at Pinterest. We both wanted to make 30 million by 30.
Yeah. That was the goal. Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you. Actually, I just, you triggered a thought for me, Omar. When
Yeah.
I actually got a million cash, when I finally had it in the bank, it's very unsatisfying
Mhm.
because no one gives a fuck about it. Like, even my dad. I went to my dad. I was like, "Hey, our company made a million." He was like, "All right, shut up, bitch."
Yeah.
And you don't get a sticker.
Yeah.
And there's no ceremony. There should be a ceremony. If anyone makes a million, I will fucking ceremony with you. We'll go to Vegas. We'll do drugs. Like, I'll party my ass off with y'all. Like, we'll do some fun ass stuff. Maybe we can even do responsible time. We don't have to have drugs, and we can have fun without that.
Yeah.
Hey you, I hope you're enjoying this interview and we'll get back to it in a second. But first, I have a question. Have you ever seen inspiring content like this and thought to yourself, I would love to share my story, passion, product, service, or business with the world? Well, now's your chance to be interviewed on The Passionate Few. All you have to do is click the link below, fill out a short questionnaire, and if our team thinks you're a great fit, who knows, you could be the next person to be interviewed on The Passionate Few in person or on Zoom. All right, let's get back to the show. Enjoy.
But I think there's actually beauty in that message, because I remember getting it. I remember finally having a million. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm still me. Life is still here. Today is still this. Tomorrow's going to happen. And I think the bigger message for myself around that is that what really matters, or this money I generate. And now it's almost the devil for me, because I can get really easily tricked. I can trick myself to saying, I'm doing this for my good. I'm doing this for intent. But it's like, well, are you sure you're not doing this for the money? And so what I do to myself today, which I actually think is helpful to do it at 15 or at 30 or at 50 or at 100, is where is the money going to serve me? Mm-hmm. And that is how, and I have a coach. And one of the things that we've been working on is he says, you need to work on paying full price for things. and hear me out with this, is that it's not that I'm trying to get deals, and I'm not trying to, I do run a deals business, or the team runs it and they're amazing. Yeah. But I think I limit myself. I've been taught, we're all taught materialism is bad. Having flashy things is bad. And most of the YouTubers that show it don't actually have it. Like, I'm in a mansion right now, but I'm just renting it. Plus, I got it for 60% off on Airbnb. It was great. Yeah. And the reality, though, is that people should be thinking, what do I really want in my life? What enhances my life for money? Like, I had a buddy buy a 335i BMW, and he was so happy. And then a few months later, he was so unhappy with it. He's like, whatever. And that always stuck with me, that, wow, this money can be really fleeting.
Elusive, yeah.
Yeah, it is elusive. And so instead of the million, the real question is, what is the lifestyle or life that you want, and how much money does that require? And so I've started recognizing, like, I live in an 800 square foot house, which I tell people, oh, how big is your house? Like, dude, I've got a tiny house. I'm like, oh, how tiny? They're like 2,000 square feet. I can't believe I live in this house. I'm like, 2,000 square feet. It's like triple my house. And my walls are falling down. Yeah. Like, I literally have cracks all over my driveway. Like, you think it's a crack house. And I think that's a self-limiting thing in myself, where I don't invest. I invest in the business. Like, I can spend in AppSumo if there's an ROI on it all day, but the ROI in myself, the self,
it's secondary to the mission. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I actually think there's more there for all of us, which is like, where can I invest in myself, either from a knowledge or from materials, like a better computer, a better camera, a better bike. And you getting your skateboard?
No, I just want to get the plug in. I'm with you.
No, it's all good. No, and so I've been reflecting on that, man. And I think the idea is not about making the million. It's funny how millions are arbitrary. Why not 900,000? Like, 900,000 is the new cool thing. Or like, one of my favorite things is when I meet an entrepreneur who's got a side hustle or a full hustle, and they're like, yeah, I make 6 figures a year. I'm like, dude, you make more than $1. That's where it is. If you make more than a fucking dollar by something you started, and you've gotten off your ass, and you stopped watching Netflix, and you did something for yourself, I'm on that team. That's part of my squad.
So yeah. Would you say that when you were creating stuff, you were like, when you started, for example, let's say AppSumo, right? Were you focused on like, how big can I scale this, or was it an interesting idea and your mindset was like, oh, this is an interesting idea. I bet you I can get a couple people on this and let's see what happens. Is your mindset, let me build this and see what happens? Or do you go into it with intent? Because it sounds like you've gone through so many ideas, and I'm just curious how you filter the ideas. And is the genius more in the execution of imperfect ideas, or is it more about you sort of being willing to take a risk, like, okay, I'm willing to bet on that idea? What's the mental approach that you've seen work more often than not? Because I'm sure you have some pretty good context. It sounds like you've had like, what, 20 overall projects you started, if not more?
Yeah, I've done 20, and only really one has made me rich. Yeah. Just to give you an idea. Like,
and it's interesting you say that, because even like they say like home run baseball hitters, I think to be like Hall of Fame legendary, they only have like a 30% batting average.
Yeah. I'm batting 5% on companies.
Yeah. 5%. And it's still built multiple 8 figures for you.
Yeah. But it also took a lot of failure, a lot of like depression, a lot of challenges. And so I think there's two ways. If you're younger, I would chase money because
straight up, yeah,
you'll just you'll learn. You'll watch a video of some guy who got rich, buy his Shopify fucking dropshipping thing, buy some crappy stuff on Alibaba, lose that money, and then learn a new way. And I did that. And the problem with that approach, the thing that's fucked with that, is that when it's not working, you'll give up really quickly because you don't care. And so the businesses for me that have ended up making the most money is just stuff that I do think it's important to be aware of the money, but I was just like, I really love doing this stuff. So with AppSumo, my intent was not to make $1 million. My intent was, can I make enough money so that I can go work remotely? And can I make enough money? And it wasn't even about making money. It was, can I get deals on these products so I don't have to pay full price?
Hey you, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to smash that subscribe button right now. And also, if you're an epic entrepreneur, thought leader, expert, and you want to be interviewed on the show, the same way we've interviewed over $10 billion worth of entrepreneurs and reached millions of people, then all you have to do is click the link below right now and fill out the questionnaire to see if you'd be a good fit to be interviewed on The Passionate Few. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click any of these videos as well. If you thought this video was epic, these videos will blow your mind. Until next time, live strong, live with passion, and thank you for being one of the passionate few. I'll see you in the next video.